Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube. It is pretty late at night and I am really sorry that this video is as late as it is, but I just got home from the Indianapolis Regional Championships. There's like no editing, nothing. We're just going to do one take this and upload it right after I'm done and go straight to bed because I'm very tired. But if you guys didn't know, I finished 34th place out of 1,017 Masters at the Indianapolis Regional Championships with a 10-4-1 record. That means I won 10 games, 4 losses, and 1 tie. With Arceus Inteleon Beedrill. It was an amazing deck, a really good meta call for the weekend, and I did in fact bubble out of top 32, which is a little bit heartbreaking and gut-wrenching, considering I played really well, I felt like, and I did everything I had to do. But, you know, it always happens, someone's got a bubble. But I wanted to say thank you to everyone who came up to me this weekend, asked for an autograph, for a picture, everything. Really humbling experience. I don't really know how to, react when that happens because I forget that people like me, which is really new to me, and I don't mean that in like a cocky way or something. It's just really cool. It's just really cool that you guys like me as much as you guys do, and I will do my best to always do it for you guys as much as I do it for myself, and hold myself to the standard that you guys hold me to. So thank you. So without further ado, I will talk about a little bit about the process about how we came to the RCS Beedrill list. I will show it right here, and I will talk about the players who did well with it. So, heading into the event, Ryan Sablehouse, a player you guys might know very well, one of my closest friends. He's been taking some time off to get his master's degree, do his life stuff. He messaged me about 2 weeks ago after UIC and said, hey, let's start testing. And so we kind of threw some stuff together back and forth, and we were going back and forth. Beedrill was something that was on the table. Arceus Duraludon was on the table. And we tried like Arceus Lycanroc, all this stuff. And everything kind of felt mediocre. And Urshifu still felt like the best deck far and away. And then throughout the next 2 weeks, me, Isaiah, Xander, the boys, we were all testing. John, Sam, everybody was testing, blah, 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 blah. So Friday comes. And by Friday, I think my mind is down to 2 decks. It's going to be Beedrill or it's going to be Urshifu. And it's the entire deciding factor is going to be, are more people going to play Hoopa V? Because I was finding out that Hoopa V was really hard to deal with as Urshifu, no matter what you did. Or are more people going to be playing Urshifu itself? Because Arceus Beedrill has a very bad Urshifu matchup. And we found out during the actual tournament it's manageable. But when you're playing against good players in practice, it feels kind of doomed if they do everything correctly. So it was kind of that last minute decision. What do we want to do? So Friday rolls around. Isaiah is on his layover in Philadelphia, I think. And Isaiah goes, hey guys, Lycanroc VMAX is an insane card. And I was like, no, there's no way this card is good. So we go read the first attack, Hunting Claw. And I realize it doesn't say Snipe. It says kill something on the bench. I was like, okay, cool. This seems pretty good. So Isaiah says, can you guys go to the vendors? So I go to the vendor. I picked up like a 10-10 Lycanroc line. It was pretty cheap. I was like $2 for the V, $4 for the VMAX. Not bad. I was like, I'm going to be considerate and pick them up for all the boys, right? I picked up my copies. John goes, and John picks up copies for all the boys too. John and I talk, and we're like, oh, we already have too many. We should say something. Neither of us said anything. And then Xander and Isaiah also went and bought enough copies for the boys. So if anyone's looking for Lycanroc VMAX, we have them all. Like all of them. We spent so much money on a card that we will probably never play in our lives. So that's the reason we kept tweeting out the hunting season meme, if anyone was wondering. We spent like $50 to $60 on these cards. We might as well commit to a meme. And we did have an idea. We tested it till about 11 o'clock. It just unfortunately did not pan out with the results we wanted. So, fast forward to 11 o'clock that night. I was getting absolutely slaughtered by Urshifu as this deck, and everyone did not have any confidence in it. And I was like, cool. I think I'm the only one who's going to play it. And then I said, I'm going to play it. Looked at Xander. Xander said, sure, let's lock it. And then Ryan, Isaiah, John were kind of scrambling, still figuring out. Sam said, I'm going to trust you on your 60. Comes to me. I sent this to Reagan on Thursday night, and Reagan was completely on board. It's our senior. And then Isaiah and John went back to the room for a little bit. We talked for another hour. They played some games against Urshifu to kind of figure out the matchup themselves. But Ryan locked in with me. I sent him my 60. I said, we're locking this. And then Isaiah and John decided that they wanted to play the list as well, but without the quick shooting Inteleon in favor for a Manaphy, because quick shooting, what does it really do? What matchups is it really for? And the answer is Mirror as well. A little bit for Mirror. It's not like super significant in the Mirror, but it can help. And it's also for the Malamar matchup. And we kind of thought we'd beat it anyway, but I wasn't going to take the risk. I thought quick shooting was too cute to cut, and it felt like it shored up numbers, kind of helped out with plays. I didn't think Manaphy, like, I think Urshi was doomed anyway, so I just said, I'm going to just get locked. I'm just going to whopped by Urshi. It's going to be what it is. So I committed to that line of loss. And I just wanted to point out in this, I know Isaiah, I will interview Isaiah later this week as well for second place. And anyone who's watching this to top 8 this weekend, if you want an interview or anything of that sort, either Bilbao, Joinville, or Indianapolis, please reach out to me. I will take care of it. I am leaving this weekend for my sister's graduation, so I have very limited time, but I will do what I can for you guys because you guys are amazing for top 8ing, and it's an incredible accomplishment. Isaiah wanted to cut Big Charm. Isaiah thought Big Charm was useless, and people were agreeing with him, and I was like, everyone is huffing something. I am not doing that. There's not a single chance in the world that I am cutting that card, and I eventually brought everyone back from the insanity pit. I took them, and I decided, hey, boys, we're marching with bees to Mordor. And it was me and Ryan leading the charge. So me and Ryan kind of 50-50 the credit here. If he watches this, he will be like, yes, I finally got the credit I deserve. I kept telling him he was only going to get 40% of the credit, but I will give him half the credit he deserves. So me and Ryan kind of locked it in. Anyway, the list is directly inspired by our good friend and Japanese player, Reiji Nishiguchi. And Kito Arai. Wow, Reiji and Kito played very similar lists, or Kato played very similar lists. So we kind of just took inspiration from this 9th place list, and we were like, this is a very good deck, and I don't know why it's not doing well. So we kind of took this, copied it, and I messaged Daichi and Reiji and all these guys the night before, and kind of asked for some advice, and they gave me a little bit of advice on the deck as well. They said go for the 2 research over the 2 Marnie, but I think we felt more comfortable with 2 Marnie. And we just kind of locked it and ran it. I thought the 2 court was kind of really, really good. The 2nd court was kind of a flex spot because it's not always needed, but I felt like just getting that B draw, like guarantee, felt really good. And I don't think there's much to talk about the list. The combination is to get the B draw out and use Persistent Sting. So I'm going to use with a single strike mustard. So I'm going to talk about my matchups. Also, can we get a shout out for my beautiful energies? Like, come on, these are gorgeous. I love the Call of Legends energies. I don't have enough fires or darks though, so it's really sad, actually. So anyway, let's jump into my games. So round 1 I played against Chip Cornette. And it was Malamar, I believe. I think it was Rapid Strike Malamar, where the quick shooting instantly came in handy, and I was able to beat Chip 2-0, I believe. The first game was a little bit of just a Chip couldn't get the distance, get there. I was just one-shotting stuff, and eventually Sharon's carrying was just too much. The second game, Chip did get the distance and game. After the first knockout I took, was able to one-shot my Arceus, but I was basically by I think the 3rd turn able to do the full kill the Inkay, kill the active with the pings, leave him with nothing, and then I just win the game from there. Round 2 was Cody Smith. Cody was playing Arceus Dark, or what I thought was Arceus Dark, until game 2, where he dropped the Lycanroc VMAX on me. So it's pretty ironic that I was the one getting hunted in hunting season. That sucked. And I lost that game. And then game 3 was just, I got to go first in Arceus Mirror, which is huge. And Cody was playing the B-Barrel engine, so he's always going to be one step behind. I was able to boss the Lycanroc, which has 200 HP, much easier to take out. And then he had to bench another Lycanroc, and I was able to take that one out as well. And then there was already a Crobat sitting on the bench that was never evolved into a VMAX. So it just became a boss game for me. Pretty easy game. Great games to Cody. It was a pleasure talking to him throughout the tournament. Round 3, I go up against a good friend of mine, Jeff Chris. Jeff took care of me personally a lot in college in Orlando, so I love him with all my heart. It just sucks because Jeff absolutely slaughters me at every regionals we play in, and Jeff was playing Arceus Charizard VMAX. Now, for those of you who don't know what Charizard VMAX does, it kills Arceuses back-to-back turns. So he's going to be able to trade 4 prizes for 3, and then close out the game with his own Arceus or a Charizard V-Star and use that V-Star attack. So both are really bad for me. And Jeff ends up beating me in the first game. I drew pretty poorly. He drew pretty poorly, but he drew well enough to beat me. In the second game, he drew the absolute stones. But I was able to get this crazy playoff because of Magma Basin putting 4 damage counters on the VMAX. I was able to get this crazy Inteleon Aqua Bullet play, doing the 150 times 2 with the Choice Band for 300 to knock it out and basically win the game. And on the last turn, he had to put a DTE down to attack. So basically, because of that, I was able to use the B. Like, I was able to do this crazy Ordinary Rod, get the Drizzle, Ultra Ball my whole hand away, get the B, slam the B, guarantee with the court. It was it came down to I had it was nuts. It was a crazy game too. And then game 3, I was unfortunately bricking a little bit. I had 3 Arceus in hand, but and a Sobble, and I was able to get all of that down. But for 4 turns, I couldn't find a Drizzle, so we traded the 4 I traded the 4 prizes for his 3 on his VMAX, but I had 2 turns to top deck a playable card to kind of keep the game going because his board was super underdeveloped. because he invested so many resources into the VMAX, and I could not. So lost to Jeff there. No hard feelings. And then I went up against Kevin Kate. I don't personally remember what the matchup was because the weekend was so long and I just got home and I'm tired. Oh no, I do. I'm lying. It was Rayquaza. It was Rayquaza VMAX. That was really scary. So game 1, Kevin like flops down everything and just blows me up. Couldn't do anything. Game 2, Kevin has a hard brick. Thank God. And then in game 3, it's a back and forth match, but because I got to, I think Kevin's turn 1 was super slow, but I got the turn 1 RCS Energy into the turn 2 boss kill Rayquaza, into the turn 3 boss kill Rayquaza, and at that point the game was kind of over because I think there was a Lumineon on the bench as well, so I just knew that there was time before I can get that. And if the Rayquaza never becomes a VMAX, I'm just so much more comfortable in that game, but that matchup is really, really scary. And then we went against CJ Rodriguez, and she was playing Mew VMAX. Now CJ got a little bit unlucky, I think, in both games because she didn't get anything. Game 1 was like a completely hard brick, and I won in 2 turns. And the second game, she was setting up her board, and the B was just like really a problem for her. And the B just kind of was like demanded a threat. So the boss came out, and then from one thing led to another, and eventually it just like was too much pressure, and I was able to take the game. Great games, great opponent, wonderful to talk to. And we had Michael Moscow. I don't actually remember this matchup either. I don't remember what happened here, but I do know I won. So I'm really sorry, Michael, but I am brain dead from 3 days of Pokemon. So now I'm 5-1. I know you do in 1 game before I lose 2. And round 7, lo and behold, I hit Finn again. Finnegan Lynch, second place finisher at Salt Lake. You might know him from beating me up on the stream in Europe. Same round 7, exact same scenario, but this time Finn's playing Suicune and I am playing my deck. So game 1, body Finn, isn't even close. I feel like the matchup is completely free. Game 2, it comes down to Finn, me whiffing. It's like a crazy hard whiff on the last 2 turns of the game to get any playable card to basically win. And Finn is like, I have to do this. I didn't get the one shot, like because he was gonna go double candy, double Ludi or whatever to get the one shot. And he goes, I didn't get there. Do you have it? And I drew for turn. It was I had a Sobble on bench too, so an unplayable card. It was like nothing. And then I made the call to hard retreat pass because no, I think it was quick shooting. So I made the call to like retreat quick shooting pass or something because I needed to like have one more turn to like ping or do something. And I just didn't get there. It was like, does he have both cross switcher or every or Candy Ludicolo? I'm like, it's pretty confident that he has Candy Ludicolo at this point in the game. So I lost that. And then game 3 came down to pretty much like the very last turn. I think I needed like maybe one more turn and I win the game every time there. But time got called on Finn's turn, and had it been on my turn, I think no, I would have needed to attack one more time. But yeah, I think it came down to the wire, and Finn, I was up like 3 prizes to Finn's 6, and Finn was never going to take that 6. So Finn played it to a tie. It is what it is. Awesome time playing against Finn. I love him. He's a great competitor. Great player, great person. So 5-1-1 now. And I'll go up against Andrew Hendrick, who's playing Dark Arc. And Andrew kind of... Okay, I will paint the picture here. I know what they're playing. They know what I'm playing. And this group of people. And they have the E-Switch package in their Dark Arc as well. So Andrew, games 1 and 3, going first on the second turn of the game, gets an Arceus V-Star with 3 Dark Energies on it, a Choice Belt, and bosses my guy on the bench with the energy. And this is all with the Baby Moltres, attach, E-Switch play, all on turn 2, both games, making it so even if I get Beedrill, I can't come back in the game because that was a comebackable con against regular Arceuses. And then I can go Raihan and trade pretty favorably to end the game. But that happened games 1 and 3, and like it's kind of like, what do I do here? Like I literally can't do anything. Yeah, game 2 I just won. Andrew bricked, but yeah, it was crazy. And Andrew's like, that's the hottest I've ever drawn. And I was like, I believe it. I straight up believe it. So now I'm going into a win-in round against Luca Michelucci. And I'm nervous because I felt like the deck is really good, and I started getting really scared that I was not going to make it today too. Like the deck was like not as amazing as I thought it'd be. RCS decks sometimes feel really bad because if you don't get the attachment or whatever, it feels bad, and that's I was in that I'm in a feels bad moment kind of thing. So against Luca, it was Malamar, and it was a quick 2-0 because Luca was not playing anything cute, doing anything cute. So I was able to always set up the double quick shooting Zigzagoon Ping knockout on NK kill active, and Luca never was able to put the 3 NKs down in play. So both games were just a quick wash, and Malamar Obviously, it was a great matchup due to the quick shooting staying in my deck, and I was able to win that. Moving on to day 2 of the Indianapolis Regional Championships. So come back bright and early. I'm up against Edwin Cojetero, and he's playing Arc Dark. Sam had already played him the day before, so I was able to kind of ask for some advice, kind of figure out how to approach the matchup. And both games, Edwin just did not get like RCS energy turn 1. I was able to do it, so even though he went first, he wasn't able to like set up board. And then I just kind of like I think I like killed something, and then he killed like me, and then I got to beat him, and the tempo was just like completely off, and Edwin just couldn't do anything. Round 11, I go against Rowan Stavenall. Very good player, very good friend of mine. Rowan's playing Catcher Mew. Game 1, it comes down to basically there's one pivotal turn where I could have turned the corner, but I didn't get there. Game 2, I just blow Rowan out, and he scoops it pretty early. And then game 3, I'm getting absolutely blown out. I miss RCS on turn 1, going second. Turn 2, I get RCS, but no energy. So you can tell that I'm in a bad spot. And Rowan also plays 2 basic psychics. So game 3, rather than attacking into my Sobble and taking a free knockout, he opts to energy mix out the second psychic, which is really, really smart. He just says, like, I'm going to energy mix out the psychic. You're not knocking me out. You can't do anything. You don't play any E-switch shenanigans, none of that stuff. Boom, I'm doing that. That's as easy as possible. And I was like, cool, yeah, you got me. And I mean, and in the third game, I thought my only win con was I saw 2, he was playing catchers, right? So I was like, what did he cut to make catchers? I see 3 catchers, 2 boss. I see a DTE, I see 2 psychic. I see all 4 fusions are on the board. I see 2 switch and a rope in the discard, and I didn't see 2 rope in the series so far. And he has like 3 cards left in deck. So I think my only win condition is to boss the Genesect and pass, and that's exactly what I did. And then Rowan's like, I have the second rope. And I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah. It is what it is. I lost, yeah. And so I had 1 win con, and it was a cheesy win con at the very end. But players, remember, that's why you don't concede game 3s. And then round 12, I go against Caleb Gettimer, also playing Mew, a very favorable matchup. The first game, Caleb gets the rope. I go first, get the RCS on bench, DTE, and active Sobble. And then Caleb gets the rope kill with the Meloetta, and I just concede on the spot because I don't want to play that game anymore. It's doomed. My hand is doomed. Game 2, I basically get the bees set up, and I blow Caleb out. It actually comes down to a top deck boss moment because I bricked a couple turns in the middle, and I did top deck the boss when I needed it. It was very nice, but I had like a very small deck, and I pal patted the boss back. So yeah. And then the third game, I go to Mustard, and there's no Beedrill in my deck. So yeah, lost that one. Sucked. So now I am not only out of top 8, but I'm like extra dead for the day. I have to win the remaining 3 to make 32, or I think I can, and so I go for it. I go up against Zach Alaska playing Mew. A lot of fun playing against them. But it was a complete blowout. Like, it was just like the worst Mew hands I've ever seen from Zach, and I just had like a perfect board both games, and it was, yeah, over. And then round 14, I'm up against Mike Morton playing Dark Arc with B-Barrel. And so game 1, Mike gets a really blisteringly good start. But I was able to chain back-to-back Bs, and Mike said, get the second B, I'll scoop it. And I did, and Mike scooped it. Game 2, Mike just beat up on me. And the third game was really similar to the first, where I got the B, I got the board set up, and I got to go first, too. So it just kind of feels really important in RCS Mirror to go first in those stages. And then round 15, I went against Braden, who was playing Malamar VMAX RCS with Crushing Hammers and the Barrel. And he was able to get me in the first game, I think, because I got like Path Marty Brick, and I was like, yeah, you got me, and it was rough. And then the second game, I was able to win against Braden, and the third game, Braden also played Powerful Energy, which was like really cheeky, and like it was really good, very situationally. So Braden was able to take it down to the wire, but the B was just so strong, and I was able to win that game, and I'm like, yes, I'm 31 match points. I did everything I have to do to get to top 32, and now we just hope and pray. And I walked up and I got 34th, which was absolutely gut-wrenching, and for like probably 2 hours I was in my own depression, and I mean, it's something I'm gonna have to live with, but I know I played really well across the whole weekend. I don't think I made too many mistakes, and I'm incredibly proud of how I finished at the end of the day, because it was 1,017 people. I finished 34th in 1,017 people. Like, that's crazy. Like, that's crazy to me. So, thank you guys for supporting me, as always, from the bottom of my heart. We will have the vlog up this week at some point. I'll have interviews with Isaiah Bradner and I don't know who else, honestly. Yeah, and I will be looking over the top 8 decks tomorrow, as well, so we can get some fun content out this week. But thank you as always for watching my videos, guys. I want to ask you to like or subscribe. You guys can if you want to, but if you made it this far, love you, love you, love you guys. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of your night.